You know, there sure are a lot of videos on YouTube by people who want to give their opinion on whether or not the SCHD ETF is a good investment. In one camp, you have videos titled, "Retire with just 50Ks in SCHD. 3 shares of SCHD will pay more than your 9 to 5. And Warren Buffett says the key to early retirement is early snowballing of SCHD and switching to Geico. On the other hand, there are quite a few videos like 50 ETFs that perform better than SCHD. SCHD is all hype, and you get a higher yield by burning SCHD for heat than waiting for its dividend. So, who is right? Well, as you might expect from people who precede their financial advice with the statement, "The following is not financial advice." These content creators tend to stretch or sensationalize the truth in order to bait more clicks out of you. These people are in both camps, and while one side is closer to the truth on SCHD, it's certainly not for answering the right questions about the subject. After all, the only question that matters when deciding whether to purchase any financial instrument is, would a clown buy it? And as it turns out, I'm a clown. Now, to be clear, I'm a dividend clown. As the name suggests, I'm mostly interested in financial instruments that pay dividends. For that part of the equation, yes, SCHD pays a somewhat small quarterly dividend, but it is sufficient enough to check that box for a dividend clown. But what about the clown part of the clown? Well, clowns are mainly looking for some combination of 3 things in their investments. We call them the 3 C's: chaos, silliness, and evil. Stocks and products that are built on copious amounts of all 3 are preferred, but sometimes a product containing even just one of these is satisfactory to a clown if the sheer amount of it is ridiculous. The best thing about ETFs is their composite nature. Being made up of so many stocks, SCHD has a high chance of containing each of the 3 C's, and a quick look at the prospectus confirms that. Without going into tremendous detail, names like Lockheed Martin, Coca-Cola, Chevron, PepsiCo, Wendy's, and US Bank Corp are preceded by their histories of spreading misery and chaos through war, microplastics, climate change, and obesity, actually. And that's evil. You don't really have to dig too deep or think about it too much to realize that SCHD contains chaos and evil in spades. Does it have anything for silliness, though? Well, as every crappy video about SCHD has already mentioned, and you are surely aware by now, SCHD is an offering of Charles Schwab Asset Management, which is an extremely redundant DBA of Charles Schwab Investment Management Incorporated. I don't know about you, but every time I hear about Charles Schwab, the company, I imagine it being micromanaged by Charles Schwab. But instead of the actual man, I always imagine a sentient Q-tip because the last name sounds close enough to swab. You know, like a cotton swab. And that's pretty silly to me. I was going to show some restraint and not even mention that, let alone show this wonderful graphic I created in MS Paint, because I actually have a decent amount of respect for what the actual man has done for making investing more accessible to regular people. However, when I was reading how he donated to the fund, which paid for a certain alleged billionaire's legal defense, it struck me as kind of a tomfoolish way to discard 100K. A profitless grift is a strange investment for someone whose name is plastered all over a financial firm. It just goes to show you that clowns exist in all income brackets. Yeah, this picture will always be Charles Schwab to me. That aside, what about SCHD itself? Well, I imagine that if you pronounced it as a word instead of an acronym, you would actually say something like SCHD. And then if you ever added a lot of SCHD to your portfolio at once, you could say, "I just shidded all over my portfolio." And that is peak comedy. So there you have it. SCHD is an S-tier dividend-paying ETF that should live under every clown's circus tent.